it's Emjoca Nebula here. So yeah, we've had a bit of an eventful few days. We've had a glut of new signings. I've already kind of done the creative on them. So let me just explain who's come in. So just to say that we've got a few people from our academy, which is great because we're filling out this roster now. And I think in a few weeks we'll probably be able to cut a few people because we'll be more flush with talent. So yeah, a fairly mixed bag if I'm being honest. I've rejected one person. That's because it was a woman from I think Australia or something like that, and she was a colour commentator, and my scouts rated her at 40 in colour commentary. So I thought, no, you're not challenging Ultramantis Black anytime soon. So I rejected her. So that's the first rejection that I've made. And as we go on, I think there'll be more rejections because we just needed to get a roster together, and we've got a roster. And I think as time goes on, I can be a little bit more selective. One person who I don't think will stick around is Blue Buzzard. He came to me as Blue Buzzard, and I've not changed the gimmick because it's a jobber gimmick and he looks like a jobber. He can kind of talk, but if you look at his in-ring ability, it's really lacking. And yeah, so I'm sorry Blue Buzzard, but not great. And I've given him a gimmick of Bird Enthusiast, and he's a face. So yeah, but I think every roster needs a jobber or two. So anyway, to our next signing, Dante Baltazar. So that's a gimmick that's a name that I've chosen. His actual name is Jorge Vicente, and he's all right. He's not bad. He's got some quality. His menace is very high. He's a bulky light heavyweight, so and he's got some charisma, got some mic skills, average star quality, but that menace stat stands out. And obviously we've got the power, toughness and resilience that sort of corresponds to that. Fururesu. Not sure I pronounced that right, but that's high. So I've given him a protector gimmick. So he's going to be someone that's going to come to the aid of people. He's going to be someone that stands for goodness. He's a face. So yeah, we'll see him on this week's Meteor make his first appearance. Anyway, we managed to secure Doug Williams, which I'm pleased by because he's a road agent. He's got good popularity stats, good worker, and I think he's going to be useful. And from a storyline perspective, we're having him as a heel, and his gimmick will be a trainer and enforcer. So, as you saw in last week's show, Mikey Novo joined EC3's movement, Free Your Narrative. And let's just say there's a few developments around that this week coming up. So Doug Williams signs. Next one, Grady Kendall. This is the highlight of this week's recruits. I'm fairly excited about him. He needs definitely some work. He's a 20-year-old Canadian. Great charisma, mic, acting, star quality. And in the ring, he needs some work. Definitely. But, yeah, he's got some potential there. But it's the performance stats where he really shines, and we're a performance fed. So he's another face. I think I changed him face from what he naturally was deemed as because, yeah, for storyline reasons, as you're going to see later. Egomaniac personality type, so we might have to be watchful of him. But I've given him a washed-up ex-model gimmick. He came to me as Daryl Lewis, and I've rechristened him Grady Kendall. Kendall, get it? So the idea is that he was a kind of a model, clean cut, he had the world at his feet, and then a few things went wrong and he hit the bottle and is a little bit of a slob now, but he's trying to like pull himself out of the gutter, and his wrestling career is kind of part of that process. So he's a little bit of a kind of, I think we've got him as gimmicky, cartoonish. Yeah, he's got some potential. This is a good sort of starting gimmick for him, get him going, get him talking while he develops. So next one is Joe Hennig, or Curtis Axel. I'm pleased to sign him. He's very good in the ring. Not so good performance, but he's got 30 popularity. And I'm bringing him in as a heel. And his role will be Bitter Veteran. He's got the nickname of the Refined Iron. I'm going to go into that a bit later on. The Refined Iron. That's his nickname. So, thankfully we managed to sign Johnny Gargano. And at the moment I'm seeing him as our top face. 35 popularity. Performance stats decent, but not standout. But in the ring he's phenomenal. And I think he's a good kind of person to start us off with the company, to really, you know, bring some integrity to the heavyweight scene. So expect him to be going for that Supreme title, our world title. Next, Kyra Ramos. Really interesting look. She came to me as Sonia Ortiz, and I've changed her name to Kyra Ramos. And I've given her a bit of a kind of feminist gimmick, screw the patriarchy, but she's taken it too far. She's very anti-men. So she's not amazing. She's got okay sex appeal and acting, but I'm not particularly excited by her. She's a little bit of a jobber. But we needed women to kind of fill up the roster, and she's there. So let's give her a go and see how she does. Now this one I'm really excited about. Maya Yukihi. I'm just calling her Maya, or Maya, I guess. She already has a Crystal Snow gimmick, which is kind of, I understand that to be a fairly icon of goodness type character. Yeah, so she's going to be kind of quite sweet and cute, and yeah, nothing particularly, you know, elaborate, but fairly kind of colourful and cute, and yeah, goodness, purity. I believe that she has also a Dark Snow gimmick, which is a bit of a kind of a split personality type deal that sometimes she does. She flips between the two in different promotions, which is kind of cool. But for now, she's in under the Crystal side, the good side. And yeah, I like her. I think she's great in the ring. We could do with her talking a bit better. I think her English is okay, but it's not fluent. So she'll be speaking minimally anyway. But she's got charisma, she's got sex appeal, star quality, which is pretty important in that women's division. Speaking of which, Mickie James, stalwart, great person to bring in. And I'm bringing her in as a heel. I mean, yeah, she's brilliant. But the gimmick I'm giving her is I Am Legend. She comes in and she thinks she's the best, and she's not shy of explaining that to everyone. She's probably got our most popularity in the company. I'm bringing her in a fairly low-key way, but I've got some other plans this week. We need to establish the Supreme title scene, and I wanted to get her on TV, but we've got a couple of other things that are taking precedence over her at the moment that have to, because of the Supreme title. And yeah, you're going to see what we're going to do. Quinlan Forte, you saw that he's renamed from MV Young. He's available this week, so that's really good. I'm really excited about him. So next guy is Scaramouche. Now, he hasn't got a pick face. I'll talk a little bit. Well, actually, I'll make a shout out now. For those of you who are watching this, if if you've got an idea of a pick base for this Scaramouche, it has to be someone famous, so in the public domain, but obscure, not too common, not too familiar. Asian New Zealander who can pass off as 18. You get me a pick base and I'll fill that in, I'll change that. Alright, so not good, he's going to be a bit of a jobber. And I've given him a sneaky jester gimmick. Came in as Tyler Freebush, and I've renamed him Scaramouche, which is an old kind of court jester, a devious court jester type character as far as I know from literature. Sneaky jester. Okay, so yeah, send me suggestions about the pick base. Who else? Vicky Petruzzelli. She's a 23-year-old black Australian female, MMA kind of background, so I'm giving her a charitable MMA fighter. So she's been an MMA fighter, and now she goes down to the food banks and she's, you know, volunteering, and she's all kind and good. So she's a babyface. Scaramouche, by the way, heel. So Vicky Petruzzelli, not great, not that impressed really. We haven't had a standout woman from our regens, from our new gens, our new trainees. So yeah, I've kept her the same name. Yeah, but she's tough. So next one, Wilfredo Santos, another one whose name I've left the same because I quite like that name. 20-year-old black Puerto Rican, 6'1", 260 pounds. Good technically. I'm having him as heel, and I'm giving him a philanderer gimmick. So he's got a lot of work to do in the ring, but his microphone stats, acting, there's some potential there. Style quality okay. So he's nothing special, but he can develop. We'll see. I suspect he might be gone sooner rather than later, but I'm more optimistic about him than I am of the likes of Scaramouche, Lou Buzzard, and the man who I'm about to show you, Zan Ratso, who came to me as Ghana Bobish, which is a strange name. 18-year-old Pacific Australian male. So again, pick base. This guy, Pacific Australian male. So I'm looking for someone of Pacific kind of ethnic origin. 5'7", 192 pounds, 18-year-old. Suggest me a pick base for someone who can pass that, offers that. Again, someone famous but not too famous. I'm giving him a chill hustler gimmick. Ratso is from Midnight Cowboy, is it? So I've taken that surname and added Zan to it. So he's a bit of a hustler like Ratso in the film, but he's relaxed and he's a wheeler dealer. Not great. He's a bit of a jobber. But actually, when you look at it properly, for an 18-year-old, actually there are some core fundamentals there. Like in about 10 years, he probably would be very good, but at the moment he's way off. So, and then finally, Johann Fable. He's a black Russian male. Johann, probably not the most Russian name, but I'm assuming that he's travelled around. He doesn't really look like 19, but we'll go with it. He's 6'8", 316 pounds, muscular, big heavyweight. And I'm giving him, he's a heel, I'm giving him the Pious Punisher gimmick. So he's a little bit of a counterbalance to, a similar character to Dante Baltazar, who is a protector, he stands up for what's right. Johann Fable, he punishes what's wrong. So there's a little distinction there in that he's pious, and he's quite, he's got this sort of, he's not religious, but it's a slightly religious fervour. You are bad, I'm going to destroy you, basically. And he's got star quality, he's got menace, he's very athletic, very powerful, tough, resilient. So he's got some work to do. I'm not really that keen on the brawling stats considering his profile, but there's something there. So yeah, you might see him you might see him feature soon, fairly prominently. So anyway, I think behind Grady Kendall, he is my preferred. I think those two are my favourite new wrestlers at the moment, the trainees. But hopefully we'll get more and more quality as time goes by. Just to show you, I've added some storylines here. This is our jobber triple threat: Blue Buzzard versus Scaramouche versus Zanratso. The three are regarded as the jobbers of Nebula Wrestling. After mocking each other for their crushing defeats, each man seeks to find out who is the best of the jobbers. Simple. Another one, Dante Baltazar versus Wilfredo Santos. Wilfredo Santos' sleazy conduct towards the women of NW hasn't gone unnoticed. The righteous protector Dante Baltazar has taken umbrage and wants to teach Santos a lesson. Fairly straightforward. EC3 and James Storm. So we saw last week Mikey Novo helped EC3 defeat James Storm for the Meteor title. So Mikey Novo, it's an interesting dynamic because EC3's whole 3-year narrative is anti-corporate, anti-establishment. But the most powerful man in the company, the billionaire, Mikey Novo, has befriended him, has joined 3-year narrative. And so that puts EC3 in a weird position. Doug Williams is entering the fray, as we'll see. He's aligning with EC3 and Mikey Novo, all against James Storm. So, interesting. Next feud, Grady Kendall versus Johan Fable. I'm going straight out with the two best trainees so far against each other. Grady Kendall has come into the line of Free Your Narrative's fire. You'll see that very soon. With a dual motivation of recruiting a young gun and getting revenge on Kendall, EC3 riles up the pious Johan Fable against the recovering addict Grady. So I was saying Johan Fable, he's very kind of pious. He's he takes umbrage with anything vaguely shady or immoral. And obviously Grady is kind of a recovering addict, a bit sloppy, probably still a little bit on the wagon, so to speak, or off the wagon, I can't remember. So Johan Fable is going to take issue with him because he sees him as, unclean. So yeah, a battle between our two hottest prospects, really. May the strongest survive, I suppose. Next one, Joe Hennig versus Johnny Gargano. This is our top feud in the company. Johnny Gargano has come to Nebula as the hottest free agent in wrestling. Jealous at the hype around Gargano, Joe Hennig becomes a thorn in his side and is determined to prove that everything Johnny Wrestling can do, he can do better. So, yeah, watch Meteor very soon and you'll see what happens. Cairo Casanova versus Ultramantis Black. I need to update this, because last week we had Ultramantis Black was trying to seduce Dark Sheik, turned down. Cairo Casanova offered his advice, and Ultramantis Black was turned down again. So Ultramantis Black blamed Cairo, and I'm adding Cairo Ramos to this program, so you'll see how she comes into play on Meteor. Next one, Maya versus Mickey James. Mickey James offers to be Maya's mentor, which the young Japanese superstar accepts, but Mickey cannot resist putting her down. How long will Maya abide by this drill sergeant routine? The description isn't quite how it plays out. I've slightly changed things, so we'll see. Anyway, let's go into Meteor for this week. I've already written it. We're about to air it. So it starts with a 2-minute recap of last minute's Meteor. Specifically, the shocking Mikey Novo joining Free Your Narrative, helping EC3 win the Meteor title, which is kind of below him really, because it's our newcomer's entry-level title. So you'll see something about that this week. Anyway, this next segment, Emjoca Nebula announces that there will be a Beat the Clock tonight. So the winner goes into the Supreme title match at the pay-per-view, Crown and Glory. So basically, 4 matches I believe. The one who wins in the shortest time possible gets the main event slot for the top title in the company Supreme title. He's about to announce his newest signing when James Storm comes out, madder than a hornet. He demands answers for why Mikey Novo cost him against EC3. Emjoca says he does not answer for Novo, but advises Storm to keep his hands off him and keep going. Storm teases putting his hands on Emjoca instead. Shock horror. Johnny Gargano debuts. Stare down. So him and James Storm have a bit of a stare down. That's kind of cool. No fighting between them. But yeah. A little bit of like, you're a top guy, I'm a top guy. Hello, nice to meet you. I'm here. Next, Joe Hendry comes out for his match against Quinlan Forte. The Briscoes are off screen. Quinlan Forte is already in the ring, and Joe Hendry comes out, but first makes a music video. If you haven't seen these, Joe Hendry does some amazing music videos mocking his opponents. They're really fun. Yeah, it's worth a smile. You'll crack a smile every time you see it. He does a music video mocking the Briscoes after they attacked him last week, based on Despacito and the changes desperate for the Briscoes. Forte laughs and sings along, which the Briscoes do not like. That is a spoiler. So in the Beat the Clock, Joe Hendry versus Quinlan Forte, 5 minutes. It ends with a double count out because the Briscoes come and beat them both up. Alright. A segment from earlier today. Earlier today, EC3 and Mikey Novo visited the Protostar Midlands Academy. That's the training dojo in the Midlands, which is our base, to scout for Free Your Narrative members. Doug Williams, the head coach, shows them around. EC3 laughs at the jobbers Scaramouche, Blue Buzzard and Zanratso, rejecting them instantly. However, he's drawn to troubled ex-model Gravy Kendall. However, against his will, Mikey Novo pressures him into choosing puritanical beast Johan Fable. Williams says good choice. So they put Free Your Narrative t-shirts on Fable and Williams. So Doug Williams and Johan Fable have joined Free Your Narrative. EC3 shows subtle disdain. He's not happy, but most powerful man in the company has united with him. So yeah. Okay. Another segment. Cairo Casanova is backstage hitting on newcomer Kyra Ramos. She says he's a patriarchy scum. Ultramantis Black walks by and insults Cairo. I thought you were supposed to be a player. Dark Sheik introduces herself to Kyra. Kyra says she isn't a real woman and she's making a disgrace of the Femme division. They brawl. Ultramantis tries to help Sheik, but accidentally hurts her. Cairo Casanova ends up ultimately saving Sheik. We're getting this kind of Ultramantis Black, Cairo Ramos on one side and Dark Sheik and Cairo Casanova on another. Okay. And then another Beat the Clock match. First one was invalid because it was double count out. And in 7 minutes, James Storm defeats Johan Fable. Johan Fable was accidentally hit by EC3. And I've got Johan Fable kept strong, protected and kept it. Keep it simple. Okay, who will be the first Femme champion? Mickie James receives a hero's welcome from the people as she makes her debut. She starts to turn them by being too arrogant about what a legend she is. Maya comes out and introduces herself. Mickie is annoyed about the interruption, but promises to make Maya better. Taryn Terrell and Tessa Blanchard come out. Taryn says her daughter's hero, Tessa, will get the winning pin in the 6-woman tag shortly, and go on to win the Femme title at Crown and Glory. Tessa and her hug, but Tessa pulls an obviously disgusted face. Alright, so that's a continuation of last week's angle between Tessa and Taryn So tension's building there, but they've got kind of a frenemy vibe at the moment. Wilfredo Santos hits on Vicky Petrozelli backstage, the newcomer. He is being creepy. Fellow newcomer Dante Baltazar comes to her aid. Dante comes face to face with fellow beefcake Nate Hamilton, and they have a stare down. The distraction allows Cesar Buenavista, who obviously started a feud with Nate Hamilton last week, and Wilfredo Santos to attack them and leave them laying. Vicky Petrozelli walks to the ring, annoyed. Alright, and then we've got a 2-minute Crown and Glory hype. Mikey Novo just kind of getting on the mic, talking about the pay-per-view at the end of the month. Femme qualifier. This is a 6-person, 6-woman tag. Mickie James, Maya, and Dark Sheik. So that's the face team, even though Mickie James is like a heel. Versus Tessa Blanchard, Taryn Terrell, and Kyra Ramos, which is a heel team, but Taryn Terrell's a face. So it's an eye candy match, and to a shock, Taryn Terrell gets the pin. So what happens is Maya's doing very well, but she's accidentally caught by Mickie James. Was it accidental? Who knows? And Tessa's about to win, but she's taken out. Taryn Terrell kind of sneaks on top of Maya. 1, 2, 3. Which is a bit of a surprise. She kind of wanted Tessa to win, or did she? So Taryn Terrell is going to Crown and Glory to fight for the Femme title. Who's going to join her? We will see. So, a very short segment. It's just cementing Joe Hendry and Quinlan Forte unite. Their tag team will be called Allegro. Okay. A Joe Hennig promo, 5 minutes. He speaks to Emjoca Nebula. Emjoca interviews another new signing, the refined Iron, Joe Hennig, who requested this face-to-face. He says he has been under a shadow. He was not born perfect, he's had to become it, often painfully. He queries why Johnny Gargano has gotten top billing as a debutante, but he's been relegated to obscurity. Emjoca highlights Gargano's status as the reason. Hennig starts to get irate, but softens, calling Gargano good. As Emjoca leaves, Hennig says, he's good, but he's not perfect, with a malicious grimace. So that's kind of cool. And then we've got another beat the clock, EC3 versus Grady Kendall. And this is also a Meteor title match. So just a reminder that James Storm, he won in 7 minutes. This match is 7 minutes too. The aim of the match is storytelling. And EC3 is dominating. But in the last minute, he's about to, score the pin. But James Storm comes out and costs EC3. And Grady Kendall, in a massive shock, upsets EC3 to become the new NW Meteor champion. And the interesting thing about this is James Storm helped Grady beat the clock. So he helped Grady beat his own score, therefore ruling himself out of the Supreme title match. And the idea is that he's so pissed off with EC3 after last week that he is willing to sort of self-sacrifice to just, And that kind of sums up James Storm's character a little bit. He is a fighter, and glory is not really his thing at the moment. He just wants to kick ass. But yeah, Grady Kendall comes out looking like shining, basically. And then we got a segment. Grady Kendall celebrates 4 minutes. He just, gets on the mic and is like, it's a dream. Yada yada. Myself, Emjoca, hypes next week. A minor segment. Here's what's happening next week. We'll hopefully find the opponents. We'll find who faces Taryn for the Femme title, and who faces our Beat the Clock winner who, as it stands, is Grady Kendall. Grady Kendall is sticking around for our main event, Johnny Gargano versus Doug Williams, who has just joined for your narrative. And in 6 minutes, just as the last minute, the minute timer deadline happens, Johnny Gargano makes the pin. And this is a Steal Your Show. Grady Kendall's on commentary, and at the end he's like, oh shucks, never mind, but it's been a good night for me anyway. Johnny Gargano wins, decisive finish, match ends with a pinfall. And the show is starting to end. Johnny Gargano has beat the clock. He is going to Crown and Glory to contest for the Supreme title. Or is he? After the match, Joe Hennig decimates a victorious Johnny Gargano with a steel chair. He then challenges him to a final beat the clock match of the night. A blood-soaked, groggy Gargano nods in acceptance. Match on. So, just remember, 6 minutes was the record, Johnny Gargano's record. Johnny Gargano is absolutely destroyed here. He's bloody, he's beaten, but he keeps kicking out. He keeps hanging in there. And he's trying to wind down the clock. He's trying to hang in there. But no, with like 30 seconds to go, Joe Hennig basically ends up cheating. Tainted finish. And Joe Hennig beats Johnny Gargano in 5 minutes to qualify for the Supreme title match at Crown and Glory at the end of the month. So, Joe Hennig, big heel. Let's start the show, see how we get on. Mikey Novo 34, okay. MAURO RANALLO apparently has an awful staff member gimmick. Never mind. Johnny Gargano, great. Segment 34. Meh. So the Joe Hendry song 38 and Quinlan Forte's Polyam Muso gimmick poor. Joe Hendry versus Quinlan Forte 12. Oh dear. Joe Hendry had an in-ring performance of 30. Quinlan Forte 22. Oh dear. I had such high hopes for him, but he's not started off very well. Both his gimmick and his in-ring performance. Do you know what? With our 12 kind of wrestlers that we're allowed, and I can cycle people in and out, his head is on the chopping block at the moment after that. That's bad. So the backstage segment, EC3, the Performance Center, the Training Academy, EC3 trying to find a free your narrative recruit. Doug Williams, adequate gimmick. Grady Kendall, great, that's good. Johan Fable, great. Scaramouche, adequate. Blue Buzzard, great. If anyone I didn't want to get great, I'd rather have had Quinlan Forte get great and Blue Buzzard get awful, but there we go. So great. So I've got two great gimmick rated jobbers. 29 is okay. I'm not massively impressed with these segments. 29 again. Kira Ramos, Screw the Patriarchy, very good. Everything's losing heat. This is not a good show. James Storm, Johan Fable, 29. James Storm, in-ring performance of 41. Of course, is James Storm. Johan Fable, in-ring performance of 8. Oh. Damn. Next one, 29 again. Mickey James, I Am Legend gimmick, very good. Maya Crystal Snow, great. That's good. Lack of anything interesting happening in the segment was a problem. Okay, yeah, but we've got to build. We've got to build. Come on. This is harsh. Next one. Oh dear. Nate Hamilton, Cesar Buenavista, Alfredo Santos, Vicky Petrozello. Segment rating 16. So we've got 3 new gimmicks. Great, very good, great. Again, lack of anything interesting. Okay, this is better. An angle featuring Mikey Novo and Doug Williams. They're talking about Crown and Glory. Not sure I went over this one. But yeah, they're just hyping up the pay-per-view. Particularly Mikey Novo, Doug Williams. It's kind of his enforcer, really. Doug Williams is basically just sitting there. Segment rating 38. Okay, this is a better match. 35. Dark Sheik 47 in ring. Good. Maya 57. She's quality. Mickey James 64, of course. Kira Ramos had a good debut. 32. Taryn Terrell 55. Good. Tessa Blanchard 64. Her and Mickey. Wow. Okay, that was good. I'm pleased with that. That's got to be the highlight of the night so far, probably. Next segment. Hendry and Quinlan Forte 32. Okay. The sit-down interview with Joe Hennig, not bad. Bitter veteran gimmick is great. Good. He's going to be a top guy. EC3 Grady Kendall 29. Meh. EC3 in-ring performance of 42. Grady Kendall 8. Ugh. Why? Why? Grady Kendall's segment 33. That's good. So he can talk, but he can't wrestle. I was very poor when trying to improvise dialogue in my hype for next week. So I'll try not to improvise next week. 24 segment rating. Johnny Gargano, Doug Williams 51. Amazing. Okay, Johnny Gargano in-ring performance 55. Of course, Doug Williams 47. Doug Williams seemed off his game, but still got 47. Okay. And then the angle of Joe Hennig and Johnny Gargano 51. Nice. It's a good start. And then it's 35. It's lost a bit of heat with that. Yeah, short match. So Joe Hennig in-ring performance 43. Johnny Gargano 52. Okay, so mixed bag, but fairly negative, really. Not a particularly great show. And I think there's 21 people watching. And that was from the south of England. 229 the venue. 42 show rating. Show increased our popularity in 56 regions. Grady Kendall used too much. Okay. Alright, so reflections. I think I'm realising the challenge in front of me. Particularly with some of these trainees, the in-ring performances is so bad. And I'm not convinced we're going to get particularly great workers through. I think we'll get some good talkers and stuff, but I think it takes time for people to become really good in the ring. I'm just going to look at our TV. Hang on, sorry, wrong menu. I want to see how the shows compared to each other. Show history, there we go. So the first one, we got a show rating of 42. Oh no, sorry, that was the one just gone. Show rating 41, attendance 12. We've gone up a point, and we've gone up 9 people. So small gains. And our rating was, we've kept the same rating, 4,200. I'd have expected a bit of a boost in the ratings, surely. Tessa Blanchard hates Scaramouche. You say you can't sell. Nate Hamilton hates Scaramouche. Not worth keeping around. I probably agree. Cesar Buena Vista. Blue Buzzard sells like crap. Okay. I'm so disappointed we haven't got a ratings boost. That's so annoying. But it looks like we have got some graduates. We've got 2 graduates. Let's see. I'm hoping that Ricardo Lombardi and Zaira Gallo are good and exciting talents. They come from the southern Mediterranean. I'm guessing from Italy, based on the name. I mean, I'm probably going to sign him because we still need to fill out a roster. Oh, he's 28, but he's got some profile in Europe. He might be worth it just to kind of build up our profile around Europe. But in terms of in-ring and performance skills, I am really not impressed with this guy. He's extremely powerful though. Well, we're going to sign him. If anything, it's just for the profile. And again, just to pad out our roster. But we're going to be at the point very soon, probably by the next video, where we don't need to pad out the roster, where we can be a bit more selective. We can start cutting people. Yeah. And then Zyra Gallo, that's an interesting looking lady. Look at the profile. Again, Asian Italian. Ooh, great star quality, great sex appeal. She can talk, she's got charisma. She can't work that well, but she's not too far away. She's got something about her, and she's 18. So I'm kind of impressed. I'm going to bring her in as a heel because we've one heel short. So I'm going to bring her in as a heel. And yeah, I'm happy with her. But they're not stunning, those two. They're not amazing. Alright, so just to end the video, I'm going to make a call to you guys. Need your help. As I said before, if you can find a decent pick base for... where is he? For Zan Ratso, 18-year-old Pacific Australian. Quite small. And the other one was... Who was it? Was it Scaramouche? Yeah, Scaramouche, 18-year-old Asian New Zealander. Alright, so try and find me faces for those two. Also, I would like some help. You know, if anyone wants to kind of be part of a wider creative team, send me some ideas. Let me know where I'm going wrong. Is there anything I need to improve? We need to get that rating up. We need to do some more interesting shows. So, yeah, I'd really welcome your feedback. Particularly as we're heading into Crowning Glory in 16 days. I think we've got a couple of Meteors before that. We want to go in hot to that pay-per-view, and I want to go up in the ratings. But I'm realising this is going to be a hard task. So please send me your comments in the comments, and yeah, like, subscribe, all that jazz, and we'll see you for the next one. See you later.